I rongo nei te ngau o te pakanga i tā wai, engari, ko te mea nui I hoki mai ki te wā kāinga ki konei tā puki nge mai ai. Koeno ko tā mātai ko te ki, ko eke ki te wā, e tikana ke hoki mai rā ki te kāinga, ke hoki mai, ke ea te wāhi ki tā wāhi, ko tā tātou ko te mihi ki a rātai, koenei te mihi o te Pāti Māori ki a rātai, tēnā koutou kia ora tātou.
Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr Speaker, I want to join with other members who have spoken to commemorate the contribution made by New Zealand forces in Afghanistan in the last 10 years. And I am very pleased, sir, that this House is debating this motion today, because it has not always been our tradition to recognise contributions made to conflict situations around the world in a timely way. It was a very long time after the conclusion of hostilities in Korea, for instance, before this House, early this decade, acknowledged the contribution of New Zealand forces in that conflict. And the Vietnam veterans will tell you with a lot of passion about how they felt overlooked and ignored when they came back to New Zealand at the end of their time in Vietnam. So it is good that we are debating and supporting this motion today. This has been our longest period of engagement anywhere, any time. And I think many New Zealanders find that surprising. The 10 years has crept up on us very suddenly. But it's not been without cost, and reference has been made by others to the 10 New Zealand fatalities and the other injuries. And while it might appear infelicitous to single out any one of those casualties, I'm sure the House will forgive me for doing so, and I explain my reason. One of those young men who died was Lance Corporal Leon Smith. I know Leon's mother, Mary, well. They are local people in my electorate. I recall Leon as a young boy in the late 80s, early 90s, growing up and mixing with a group of kids who were in the circle of people that we associated with. And when you start to think about the fact that someone like him is not just a statistic, but a real person who gave his life in a field of conflict, it brings home to us what it is we're talking about today. This is not some abstract situation that took place over a period of time in a far-off land. This is something that touches the lives very dramatically of many New Zealand households, many New Zealand families, many New Zealand communities. And while I'm speaking on this point, sir, can I also observe, because again it affects one of my sons, the New Zealander Jack Howard, who was killed fighting with British forces in Afghanistan. Young people have this sense of invincibility, that they can go on forever, they can triumph over adversity. It's a situation like this that brings home that unfortunate other reality. So it's good that we are acknowledging and thanking those who served in Afghanistan for their contribution. But there's one step further we must take, and I believe my colleague to the right was alluding to this as well. We honour the campaigns New Zealanders have fought by the shields around this chamber. I hope, sir, it is not too long before somewhere in this increasingly cluttered space an Afghanistan shield takes its place in this chamber. Because that would be, it is happening, I'm delighted to hear that, Minister, thank you, because that would be the ultimate tribute that this nation could pay to those who served so valiantly for so long.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. No petitions have been delivered to the clerk.